dreads. And a black ass nigga with white. He gon' drop that neck. He know the way I. Please forgive me, but I really hate to make something that's not deep. And I'm currently fighting the Stitch Master of Depth allegations here, especially for things that have as much depth as the shallow pool at Wild Waters. I'm so sorry. Especially because these kids didn't actually do anything. They didn't do anything. It's just that, like, I've always thought I was reaching for thinking that older men who are specifically attracted to me are pedophiles, right? Walk with me here. I look 15. And I'm not saying it in a my little girl voice, my little girl frame. I'm so small, I'm just a girl. No! And I'm certainly not doing it like my 80s that say, oh, I'm 35, but I look younger than Gen Z. And also, sister, you don't. But it's just to say I look young. I mean, those kids literally look older than me. But that's the thing. First second I saw their video on my FYP, I was like, oh my gosh, look at these kids having fun. And if I, as a 20-year-old, can see that those are children, why does a 56-year-old man look at me and feel comfortable enough to make sexual advances? I think one of the most disappointing moments of this year was when I made a video about predatory behavior, and then when I opened my message request here on TikTok, an older man was like shooting his shot. I think that's also why I don't open my requests too often, because a lot of the time it's slimy older men. In situations of like statutory rape or grooming, an excuse that predators often use is that, oh, I thought she was older, I thought he was older, I thought the victim was older, the victim is so mature, I thought they were older. Oh, didn't look like a 16-year-old to me, I thought she was in her 20s. Like, this is proof that that is cap. 15-year-olds do not look 30. They definitely look 15. Issue is that the glasses you're wearing, the lens was made in R. Kelly's cell. That's the problem here. Guys, I remember on my birthday, I went to a restaurant with my best friend, and the man sitting next to us, right? It was actually a table filled with just men. But the moment I walked in, because I arrived about 20 minutes before my friend, from the moment I walked in, this one man in particular sexualized me from the get-go. As I was about to sit, he made a comment on like how my ass looks in the pants I was wearing. I was like wearing lip gloss, and he was like, those juicy lips deserve to be kissed by a real man. And they look like they give perfect blowjobs. Oh my gosh. All the girls, gays and theys know that, like, because of how dangerous South African men, sometimes you just have to like flatter them and just like let out a nervous laugh to avoid being murdered. Because as I said, it was a table filled with older men and I was alone and my friend hadn't arrived. And then when my friend arrived, he kind of like toned it down, right? But he swapped seats so that he could be making constant eye contact with me while I was at the restaurant. But like, it was very obvious that I was like uncomfortable and not really leaning into whatever was happening. And so he kept trying to send like drinks to our table in the name of, oh, I'm just trying to loosen you up, trying to warm you up. No, you're a predator. You're probably just trying to get me drunk so that I'm not of sound mind and you can take advantage of me. I know this. And every time my friend would like have to go to the bathroom, because we were there for a couple of hours, again, he would try with the advances. But it got to a point where he was doing it while she was present. I literally told him that my dad is 52 years old. He's literally older than my dad. Like, he literally said he's 56 or whatever. Again, like, he offered to pay our bill and I kept saying no. Like, again, my parents gave us more than enough money for our dinner because it's my birthday. And then after he heard that it was my birthday, he was like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 20. And then he was like, oh, I thought you were 16. I was actually more attracted to you when I thought you were 16. What? Came more comments like, oh, you're probably getting dick in the booty from college boys. Oh my gosh. Even with back to the bill thing, he was like, oh, you're acting cocky. Like, is your father rich? Like, are you too good for my money? Like, that's also been another thing that like bothers me with predators. Like, obviously they usually try to entice people with money. And like, when they approach me or message me, I always ask myself, like, did you hear my stomach growling in one of my TikToks? Like, I'm so offended. I didn't even want this to be a long chat. But before I forget, this is like one of the last things. I think it's also because predatory behavior is also enabled by establishments. Like, one of the comments I remember making to my friend is that I feel like this restaurant is like a place where these kind of people scout, right? It's like a hotspot. And so, like, we're never really gonna combat predatory behavior until we address the fact that, like, predatory men feel as though they're entitled to people's youth and that people's youth should be used to renew them.